everybody, we're on tour. We're on tour in Copenhagen, and today was a really big day for Klas. This is Klas Lindquist. Say hi.
Hello.
And we just sort of wanted to celebrate it by talking about it and sharing it with you guys. There's two really big things coming up in his life. So we're going to get started with the first one, which is what happened today.
The release of my 5th album.
Your new record came out today.
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Handled with Care.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, yes, it's mostly standards, quartet music, and also kind of a focus on ballads.
And the quartet setting for you is something you play a lot in, but you haven't actually done a lot of records in that setting.
Well, that's right. I've done one record before in the quartet setting. And besides that, I've done 3 records with my 9-piece band.
With your 9-piece band, that's your Nonet.
That's right.
Tell me more about that.
Okay, so 9-piece band. That's the band I started. Actually, it's an idea I had a long time ago after hearing music on a record with Nonet's Nonet.
This is a very hard record to find, actually.
It is.
I looked for it, and it's not streaming, and it's not on CD, but you had it on tape?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
Oh, I don't remember right now.
But it's a Nonet's Nonet. If anyone has it, I'd be really interested to actually hear it.
There's supposed to be 2 records with the Nonet's Nonet. And this, the one I heard was with mostly also standouts. But it was, I just thought, because I was into this, I was listening a lot to Duke Ellington and other great jazz composers, and also like big bands. And then I heard this Nonet with 6 horns. He actually had 2 trombones, 2 trumpets, and 2 saxes, which is a little bit different from what I have. But I just dug the format because it could sound so fat and so warm and so like you could also compose and use larger forms. Can you say that? Yeah. But at the same time, you had this kind of agility in the band.
So you talk a lot about, I've heard him talk a lot about agility.
Yeah.
And I think I would like you to tell me more what that means.
Well, big band, which is like, is it like 15 people or something? Yeah, lots of people
18.
anyway. Yeah. It's usually 5 saxes, 4 trombones, and 4 trumpets.
And rhythm.
Yeah, rhythm section. It's so big and fat, but sometimes it's also a little bit heavy. And I think if you are a smart arranger, which I try to be, I think with 6 horn you can make it sound really big, fat, but still it's kind of also flexible, you know.
But I think you also hear that in like some big bands, like Thad Jones, for instance. In a lot of his arrangements, he condenses and uses a smaller ensemble in the arrangement.
Yeah, yes.
So I think I understand what you mean when you talk about like the agility of that.
Yes.
And I think another thing that's really interesting about the Nonet setting is that it also kind of gives you a small ensemble setting. Like there's plenty of room for solos.
Oh yes. Well, if you have 6 horn players and you choose them really carefully, you know, you can make a very wide palette of soloists and different voices. And if you let them also bloom, like, then the music and the, like if you are on stage, becomes really interesting to follow because you have different colors to use, like different personalities in the band. And I think that's a very important ingredients in the band.
Which is also sort of how Duke Ellington used his band members.
Yes, and that was also an idea I had when I, back in the days before I started the band, like even in the 90s, you know, when I heard Duke Ellington, all those strong voices that goes in different directions.
So when you write for your Nonet, you're really writing for specific musicians.
Oh yes, like every.
It's not just like 9 people and you get 9 people together and it's always different 9 people.
No, I hear
it's
those.
a band.
I hear those personalities for every note, even if it's like written music, like ensemble music. I really hear the person inside of my head when I.
Their sound and everything.
Yes.
And your Nonet has actually been really successful, especially with the last release.
Oh yes, the last release called Alternative Source of Energy. Kind of a funny name maybe, but yeah.
Is it about climate change?
Oh no, it's not.
Okay.
It's about the energy in the band. Yeah.
But the title comes from something.
Well, it comes from that.
But doesn't it come from another song?
No, you gotta help me there. I can say it has some kind of a connection with atomic basic.
Uh-huh.
Like
Okay.
I just thought that like the theme of energy, you know.
Okay.
So
Cool.
So this is kind of an alternate energy.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
But it came out last year.
Came out last year, and it was voted the best Swedish jazz record of the year, 2023, by the readers of Orkesterjournalen.
I mean, that's kind of a prestigious thing to receive, I would think, from listeners.
Yes, I would say so too. Yeah.
And when is the next performance with the Nonet, actually? Because we're on tour now, but we're about to be done with tour, and you are at the...
As soon as we're back home in Stockholm on Monday, I will gather this band and play at the Stockholm Jazz Festival. That will be at this place called Reimersholme Hotel.